Okay, so one more to go. We have fetch image now. And this is going to be a select statement, but it's going to return a result. And I'm going to need to use parameter binding in both directions because I'm passing blobs in and blobs out. There's one other thing that's a little tricky here, which is that I'm passing in the size type key, which is actually the name of a column. So I'm going to have to do the same thing that I did up here in change column value, where the stored procedure actually uses concat to build a query and then does parameter binding inside of the stored procedure. So there's going to be parts that look like what I have now, and there's going to be other parts that are going to look like the stored procedure I did for change column value. So let's go ahead and start by putting a breakpoint here, because it's a complicated query, so I want to actually get the query. And then I'm going to reload, and I'm stopped at my breakpoint. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click on the query, inspect, copy that, turn off debugging, and then I'm going to go actually continue. Get rid of that breakpoint, continue. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my routines. I'm going to add one called FetchImage. And this is going to be a stored procedure. Let me start by pasting the query in here. So this is going to take two parameters. It's going to take the set ID for the image set, and it's also going to take this column name here. So we'll add another parameter. And then the set ID is just an integer. And then the column name is going to be varchar. And I used varchar 64 in change column value, so I'll do that here as well. And then I'm going to remember to set this to read SQL data. So fetch an image and image metadata for a set. Now I'm not done, but I'm going to go ahead and save this anyhow. Actually, I'll change this to call name. That's set ID. Let me save this. And I'm going to go to change column value, and I'm going to copy the code, and then go back to fetch image and paste this code in. So the code here is going to be the same, except this query is going to be different and the parameters are going to be a little different. So let me start by cleaning this up into one line so that it's easy to concat later. Okay, so one long line. And then we're going to concat, so everything up to thumbnail image ID. And then we're going to put the call name here. And then up to the end of the query. And then this is going to be a parameter that's going to get bound. So let's go ahead and replace this query with this query. And then we're going to prepare the statement the same. This time we only have one parameter that needs binding, so we're going to set @setID equal to setID. Get rid of name, and then we'll prepare it using setID. Deallocate prepared statement. I think everything else looks good, so I'm going to go ahead and save that. Okay, so back here, I can get rid of, I think I can get rid of all of this stuff up to the query. So the query here is going to be call fetchImage, and it takes two params, so the set ID and a call name. And then I'm not going to use result binding here. So prepare the statement, send an image and a string, size type key. Then I don't want to bind the result. I'm going to execute, and then this part's going to be simplified a little bit. So what I'm going to do here is set result equal to statement pointer get result. And then I'll set result array equal to result pointer fetch array MySQL assertion. And since I was already using the same keys as the column names, this should work fine. So let's go ahead and put a breakpoint there, and then the last thing I want to do is return result array. So I'm going to put a breakpoint and go back here and hit reload. So my result is a MySQLi result, which is good. So RA is an array. It's got MIME type set, some reasonable looking image data, size, name, and so on. So that looks good. And it seems like we got our image. So I'm going to reload. Let's try a rig. Great. So 800 by 600.